the world listens.
All right, you're welcome to HerLens right here on Your Women Radio WFM 91.7. This is about 8 minutes after 9, and I hope that your day is going on Thursday already. It's the fourth day in the month of September 2025. My name is Rose Yusuf Kaiser. You're welcome to HerLens right here on the Voice of Women, Nigeria's first radio station for women and their families. All right, HerLens is a program where we get to discuss, dissect, and disagree on political issues right here on Your Women Radio WFM 91.7. And of course, we have Ibinabo Dixon joining us virtually this morning. Good morning, Ibinabo. How are you today? How is it Thursday doing you?
Abia, how am I doing the Thursday? Good morning, Rose. Good morning to all our valued listeners. I'm doing fine. I'm doing well. I'm trying to put my best foot forward, and I hope that I don't sleep. Thank you.
Okay. All right, that your hope. We join you in that hope, and for so many other people too. Just trying to make sure they do their best, put their best foot forward, and make sure they don't also sleep. So yeah, that's my prayer and wish for each and every one of you who have tuned in this morning to listen to her lens. All right, so before we have other ladies join us, you can do what to be a part of the program by dialing 07000 or 081 09155 Those are the numbers to get in touch with us this morning on the program Highlands. And of course, you can send us WhatsApp messages on 081 or 070 Those are the numbers to get in touch with us this morning on the program Highlands. Okay, let's start off with this very first story that sounds a bit funny, but trust me, that could be the reality of a lot of people. So this particular one says that a man calls off his wedding plans after he witnessed what happened in his wife's parents' home. So he visited them and he saw his girl's parents. Okay, he visited the girl's parents' home and then he saw her father. That's the lady he's about to marry. He saw her father washing plates, and the mother was even shouting at him to hurry up and finish. And the guy just said, "This kind of family, I no go enter. No be me be this," because I'm sure the guy just imagined himself in the next maybe 5 to 10 years after they must have given birth to kids and the wife is doing it and the wife is shouting at him the way his wife's to be mother is shouting at the dad saying, "Oh, please hurry up with those plates you are washing." And the guy just say, "You know what, I'm gonna do again. I'm not just gonna do again." But then it's just it just sounds one kind. Because it's one thing for you to visit a home and you see a man taking care of his home, and it's another thing for you to visit the home. You see the man doing the chores, and the wife is probably shouting and doing a lot. So that could send wrong signals to the man who is getting married. But then, let's get to hear Binabo's thoughts on this. Binabo, how you see this story? How it be for you? If now you find yourself for this kind matter, what you go advise your son make you do?
You see, okay, yes, it's important that you look at the background of the lady you want to marry because she came from there. So, I mean, a lot of that needs to be in her. So you have to have a clear-cut understanding of what that place looks like, at least. But then again, you have to look at your wife. It is most unfair, as far as I'm concerned, to just cut off that relationship because of what you saw once. You were there and you just witnessed that, and that was it. That was it for you. So, for me, I feel that probably there had been other reasons he had been keeping somewhere, but he wasn't sure of what to do with those reasons. So he was still hanging in there. So probably what he experienced or what he saw at the lady's house was the last straw that broke the camel's back. Otherwise, if that was the first time, I don't think that should be a reason for just burying that relationship. Buy am, come bury am. I don't think that is fair. What am I trying to say? I have seen families where, let me cite this example. I used to know this family. The woman, a very nice woman, very industrious. She cared for children. That is son, girls. This woman was separated or divorced or something. I didn't, but she was living alone with the children. She wasn't living with any man. Today she will say this is her husband, tomorrow that one will be, another one will come like that. So it wasn't really a very good thing for the children to witness. But you see, the older children, the younger ones were very little, so I couldn't judge them. But the older children, especially the eldest child, who is female, and the next one to her also a female, they were so well behaved. They were so responsible as far as I'm concerned. I'm a mother, and they were nothing like their mother. They were absolutely nothing like their mom. And as a mother, with all of that baggage in her life, she did her best to raise them well. So it was like a matter of this is my life, oh, but don't be part of this. I wouldn't allow it. So we don't even know why she became what she became. So that was quite impressive. That how could a woman like this, a woman who would get a shop and in front of the shop in the evening, instead of closing and going home, because it wasn't far from home, she would just be there with men and other ladies drinking, eating, and you know that kind of setting. But her children, she would never allow them hang around there. Maybe okay, go and bring me this from the house and like that. But she would never allow those children hang around there. And she never allowed her children to misbehave around within the community. These ladies at different times got married, and I'm talking about over 10 years ago. 10 years ago. Should be about 18 years now. Six, yeah, because I was a much, much young mother then.
Hmm.
They're still married and they're still living their lives. Because I still I'm in touch with the children. We chat, we talk. Once in a while, they invite me to their wherever they are celebrating, and if I'm chance, I go. And I'm looking. So one man, okay, imagine the guy who wanted to marry the first daughter then. He will come to there. Sometimes he will stay in the house overnight. Maybe probably they were watching a movie in the house and it was late, and the mother will say, "No, don't. We cannot go home now. If anything happened, they will say, what was your wife to be mother looking that she allowed you to leave her house at this time?" This guy probably had witnessed a lot of things, but he knew his wife. He knew that this was a different person. Sometimes you don't carry the baggage of your mother or your father.
True.
Sometimes you don't like what their lifestyle, and you have chosen to be different. So if a man now wants to marry that lady, and he comes and says, so your mama they carry men, they put for shop, they gist, they drink alcohol, I can't marry you. You're lost, Oga. You have to look at that person. The fact that Yoruba people say inú ìkòkò dúdú láti ń rí ẹ̀kọ funfun. Inside black pot, na white agidi dey come out from. White pap. You don't always have to judge a child from the parents' behavior. Because there are times that there are very well behaved parents and their children are so wayward.
Hmm.
So that is why sometimes I disagree that every wayward child was not well brought up. I would start to disagree. In the same way, I would disagree that the fact that your parents are, or your mother, your father is a kind of a person that the character is doesn't write home about. It doesn't mean that the child will be like that, because sometimes children don't like the way their parents behave and they will promise themselves to be better. And then one man will come and judge me by what he has seen. That man is not for me. So for me, what came to my mind was probably he had been seeing some traits in the lady, and now what he witnessed in her in the lady's family house was just like a cap to just cover the bottle. Okay, okay, this one already made food. I know they chop. If that was the case, good for him. But if his sole judgment was based on what he saw and not the character of the lady, then he's not even going to be a good husband. He's just being judgmental. He himself, he has bad. She's supposed to be
So,
married.
Ibinaba, what you're saying is that what you saw might not necessarily be the lady's character. She might just be different.
That is what I've been saying all morning. These two ladies I mentioned as my example, I am still in touch with them. They are married. This is over. The first one got married. The first one had a baby around the time Obama was maybe being sworn a second time or the first tenure. See how long ago that was.
Hmm.
She's still happily married. She married a young man like herself. So it wasn't as if she married one baba that experienced any man they take they manage the relationship. No, they were both young. I was at the wedding. The second girl, the same thing. They are nothing like their mom. And their mom will always say, well, this is my life, oh, niko kiniko. And she would discipline them. You now be looking at that. So you know that this thing is wrong. Why are you doing it? That is her business. That was her life. So that taught me a very huge lesson. That sometimes when you see very fantastic parents, it doesn't mean that children will. If you say, I like the way this woman and this man they behave, I go marry the application so that our lives will be like this. It's not always true. Sometimes parents are working so hard to instill all of this discipline in this child, and this child will refuse to take in this discipline. And this child will manage to grow out of the house and then begin to behave in his own way. And then you want to say, because the parents are very, maybe the father is always taking care of the mother, or the mother is so loving towards the father, so you want to marry the daughter so that you'll be loving towards you. Maybe not. It's not always the case. There are exceptions, and we should always know that there would always be exceptions. So you don't be quick to judge your
Okay.
wife to be by the behavior of her mother, because she probably did not like that behavior too, and she will do anything within her capacity to change anything that seems or has a semblance of her mother's behavior in her. So how dare you judge her? Somebody who is trying so hard to be a better person, then you concluded that she must be like her mom. Well, husband never, when her husband comes, he will judge her by her character, not by what her mother displays. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Ibinabo, for giving us your thoughts on that. So at the end of the day, maybe there are some underlying reasons why the guy just choose to jabble and not stay, with the lady after experiencing that. I mean, every house is different. There are things that could go on and it's fine and good. There are some others that it's like forbidden. If you go to somebody's home, that's just that's what goes on. And for them, it's normal for them. But for in your own house, it could just be a God forbid situation. So, would you use that to want to judge your spouse for the number of years or months that you have been together with her? Has she exhibited any of those characters? Does she have tendency of becoming that? And even if you do that and you called off the wedding, did you actually sit down to maybe ask what is going on? What's the family dynamics like? Just to find out a little bit more, uh, instead of just judging her based on what you saw. Because I mean, maybe the guy just sat down and pictured his future in the next 10 years. He just saw himself in that situation, or maybe it was because even at that, Ibina, but we've had men who have actually seen. They will tell you that how is her mother, or they'll say, waiting be how the mama look like, the way her mama dey now. Now so this woman, now so the wife wey you wan marry go dey when she don't reach her mama age. Now that kind person will get that kind body you want, make it stay your house. Because I'm sure you've heard that, Abby. When you hear men that will say, you will hear some men that will say, her mama big like this. That means if she reach her mama age, so she go big. Now this kind of person you won't marry. Make you really think, Amo. I don't know if I'm the only one that has heard, some men speak like. What have you heard such?
I have at different times and for different reasons. There are people that will say, "Oh, I like the way the mama be. She dey take care of herself. Look at her. She's already 50 plus. Look at how beautiful she is. Look at how well dressed. She's always looking very well dressed, always looking very sharp, always looking this and that, and the daughter will not be anything like her mom." have I've seen a lot of people. That is why I tell people, in as much as you can arm yourself with the information you're getting from the lady's background, but don't lose sight of who she is really. Because I've seen people who whose parents. I've seen a lady. Let me put it like this: there's a lady I used to know somewhere in Surulere. The day I met her mother, I was shocked. What am I saying? This lady, those talk about Ajabota and this and that.
Mhm.
This lady was I attended an all girls. She was in another all girls school. So during all these programs, literary and debating, whatever, all those celebrations. So I got to know her. So we became friends. So she used to come to my house. So there was a opportunity I wanted to go to her house. I couldn't go. So on a day, I said, okay, let me even go to this girl's house. She didn't know I was going to come. I just was passing by. So let me just pop in and say hello and go back home. When I got there, the woman I saw, this must be maybe somebody that came to work in their house. I couldn't believe that was her mom. She was completely different. That woman, the way she would talk, she was not educated.
Hmm.
Everything about her was completely different than what I had seen in this lady. This lady, if you want to imagine her mother, you're imagining somebody who's probably a permanent secretary in the ministry of whatever, and she's so thin, she's so Oyinbo like, the kind of woman will say, "Hello, darling, how are you doing?" That must be the kind of mom. And then one man will come and see the woman and say, I can't marry her because this is how she's going to end up. I beg, judge me. Yes, I'm serious. But for trying my best not to be like my mother, for example. Not me, because my mother, my mama, she's almost the best woman, the best mother in this world. So, but I've seen people who you can't compare them to their parents because they have seen and they don't even like what the parents are or how they behave or how they display whatever they do. So they want to be different. So they worked on themselves rather, and they are already looking very different. So one man will now come and look at the mother and say, "No, what did you see in that lady? Why did you want to marry her?
Okay.
If she had been carrying all this bad character, are you not? Let me not use the word silly to have agreed to marry her, to have decided to marry her. What what did you see in her? See, wisdom they say is profitable to direct. This intelligence wey they talk about is not for free. What was it? If I could sit with a young man, I would ask him, what was it that you saw in her that you thought
You
that
really
okay,
wanted to
this would
marry her. Hmm.
what are those things? What happened to those things that suddenly you heard the mother and then some families, if you see the way the husband and wife crack jokes, you would think that they are getting divorced tomorrow and they are still together. That is how they have decided to package their own relationship. It doesn't mean yours will be like that. Because what did you see in the lady? Why did you want to marry her? Sometimes you see a lady, her mother is so unkept, is so out of shape and everything, and you are telling us, and if she now looks just like a younger version of her mother, that's another problem. This, like you are saying, this one, by the time she go give birth to one or two children, hey, she go just turn to omiyale. That is water don tear house. That is she will occupy and possess all the all the sitting room space and all the bed. It's not always like that. There are people who they know their background and they are determined to do different than where they came out from. So don't
Okay.
be judge them by who they have displayed themselves to be, not by what you saw somebody do. Please. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, T. Binabo, for giving us your thoughts on that. Yes, Susan has joined us. We'll definitely get to hear Susan's thoughts on this particular issue. So if you're on Facebook, please do well to join us live on Facebook at WFM 917. We're also live on YouTube at WFM 917. Get to comment, drop your maybe your questions or concerns or your contributions to what we're looking at today on the program HerLens. This is your Women Radio, WFM 91.7, and it's about 28 minutes past 9 on the side of the radio. My name is Rose Yusuf Kaiser, and we just finished hearing from Ibinabo Dixon, as regards the issue of the man who went to visit his spouse's home. He went to see her parents. And then, unfortunately for him, he met the lady's father washing dishes, and the mother was shouting at him, and the guy called off the wedding. Yeah, he called off the wedding just from that scenario that he saw or he met at that moment, and he called off the wedding. And we're just looking at it. Oh yeah, you call off the wedding, okay? So, is it that there were other things that you had in mind when you probably just use it as an excuse to finish up? Hello, good morning. Good morning. Could you speak up so that I can hear you? Hello, good morning. I can't seem to hear you. Okay, try to dial our other number because I'm not sure this is the network on this one is good. Try the other number. I'm not really sure which of them you called right now, but try the other one, 07000 or 09155917917. We'd definitely love to hear from you. I don't know which of them you tried that's giving this feedback, but please do well to try the other one. Better still, send us a WhatsApp message to 08155917917 or 07031756537. Those are the numbers to get in touch with us this morning on the program Lens, right here on the Voice of Women and Nigeria's first radio station for women and their families.
Oh, what did it happen now? No bonus for all my line. No panic, as MTN don't carry better gist come. Every 6 minutes you talk, MTN will dash you 3 extra minutes. Fiam to enter MTN better gist. Dial *123 *2 *1 hash or text BG to 312. T and C's apply.
Ndị be anyị, ihe okwu eruola o. Ego na-ezu dịka mmiri ozuzo.
Better play, better chance. 200,000 naira nwere ike ịbanye n'aka gị taa.
Geekwa ntị, ugboro atọ n'ụbọchị. Aha ndị mmeri ga-apụta live na redio.
Naanị 500 naira ka ị nwere ike iji merie ruo 200,000 naira kwa ụbọchị. Sonye na Better Play ugbu a ma geekwa ntị na redio ma ọ kụọ elekere 10 nke ụtụtụ, elekere 2 nke ehihie na elekere 6 nke abalị kwa ụbọchị. Aha gị nwere ike bụrụ nke a kpọrọ Better Play. Egbukwana oge, mee ngwa ngwa zụta tiketi gị ugbu a.
Zụta tiketi gị na www.betterplay.ng maọbụ bịa *347*154 hash. Ị chọọ ime ka ohere gị bawanye, ị nwere ike ịzụta tiketi ruru 20.
Mee ngwa ngwa soro anyị na Facebook @Better Play na Instagram @BetterPlayNG maka ozi ọhụrụ. Oge iji emeri ego a eruola. Ị nwere ike ịbụ onye mmeri tata. Better Play bụ naanị maka ndị toruru afọ 18 ma ọ bụ karịa. Sonye egwuregwu a n'ụzọ ziri ezi.
Something big is happening with Better Play. Get ready to turn 500 naira into 200,000 naira daily jackpot. Yes, you heard right. 200,000 naira every single day. The more tickets you grab, the higher your chances of winning. Stay tuned because this is the game changer you've been waiting for. Coming to you on Women Radio 91.7 FM. Are you ready to play and win big?
Are you looking for a place to advertise your business at affordable rates or a hall to host all your corporate events and conferences? Then don't look any further for all your advert placements, live interviews, announcements, religious programs, event bookings, and lots more. Give your business the boost and reach your target audience at an affordable rate here on Women Radio 91.7. What are you waiting for? Hurry now! Call the numbers 0905 555 8998, 0806 009 2137, or 0816 060 5673, or email us at sales@wfm917.
I'm so happy.
Oh, you mean you're rhapsodic? RHAPSODIC.
There you go again. Always using big words. Well, yes, Scopidalian. SESQUIE.
Sesqui, are you casting spells?
They are just getting ready for MTN's M-Pulse celebration. They're trying to become MTN CEO for a whole day and win from a prize pool of over 40 million naira, ranging from laptop to smartphone, educational grants, MTN M-Pulse goodie bags, and more. Register now at mpulse.mtn.ng. Terms and conditions apply. MTN. What are we doing today?
My people, something big don't land, and na money rain dey fall. Better play, better chance. 200K enter your hand if you try your luck. Oh, better play, better chance.
Now 3 times every day, them they call winners for radio. Yes, now with just 500 naira, you fit win up to 200,000 naira every single day. Just join the Better Play Lottery now and listen for your name for radio 10 a.m., 2 p.m., and 6 p.m.
Better play, not dull yourself. Go get your ticket sharp sharp. Buy am for www.betterplay.ng or just dial *347*154#. You wan boost your chance? Buy reach 20 tickets if you wan win.
Follow us for Facebook at Better Play and Instagram at Better Play NG to get correct updates. Now your turn to chop this money, oh.
Better play, better chance. You fit be the next lucky banger. Only people wey don reach 18 years fit play. Play responsibly.
Hey, Omo, see package. This is what I call full house.
Yes, sir. That's me. I feel.
Huh? Who's talking about you? I'm talking about this Peak Yogurt Drink Full House Pack in your hand. The Peak Yogurt Drink 1 liter Full House Pack with more refreshment contains fresh cow milk. Share and enjoy full house goodness filled with essential vitamins and minerals. Peak. Reach for your peak.
The MTN Mega Billion promo is finally here. From Monday to Saturday at 7 p.m. Plenty Nigerians will stand a chance to win big. To join, just dial *900# on your MTN line. Then every recharge from 100 naira or more will get you more entries and increase your chances to win. This promo lasts till the 21st of September.
Recharge today and win millions. T's and C's apply. Visit www.mtn.
Crazy monk, you never had a snake and whether python and swallow money.
Why?
Everything has increased.
Conversational, controversial, and borderline disruptive. The big question.
Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays from 12:05 p.m. only on Women Radio.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
I don't wanna wait for nobody.
Keep it locked.
I should have bought you flowers.
Turn your radio up.
We are WFM 91.7.
All right, this is the Voice of Women, Nigeria's first radio station for women and their families. My name is Rose Yusuf Kaiser, and this is still the program HerLens. All right, I have Ibinabo Dixon with me, and I also have Susan joining me virtually. Yes, you can be a part of the program by dialing 07000 917 917. Oh, it's about to pick that call and it went off. Please do want to call me back, or you can dial 09155 917 917. Do want to send us WhatsApp messages on 08155 917 917 or 070 317 56537. It's about 23 minutes to 10 on the side of the radio. So let's get to hear from Susan this morning. But before then, we have a message here. This one is coming from Hayford, the side from Iju Road. It says, fact or not, that can be corrected through regular exercises. Don't allow body size make you dislike a lady you like. Remember, the reason that makes you like the lady would so fade off if it's not good character. And it says it's only a foolish one that marry a lady because of her beauty or big butts. Nothing lasts forever. It's also a foolish lady that will marry a man because of money. All these things will fade away. All right, thank you very much for the side. So let's go to Susan. Susan, good morning. How are you today? And let's get to hear from you as regards the story of the man who visited his in-laws to be and saw his father-in-law to be washing plates and the mother-in-law shouting at him, and the guy just carry his slippers and jabber and called off the wedding. Let's hear your thoughts on that, Susan.
Good morning, Ross. Good morning, Bimbo. Good morning, HerLens family. I want to think that that young man saw something in the lady before approaching her. Ebinabo has extensively dealt with this topic. And for that man, I know that he his fears are valid. Let me put it that way. His fears are valid. But the truth is, it is not something that should determine who your wife will be. You have dated this lady for a while. I don't know if you visited each other or anything. What I find absurd in the conversation is the fact that the woman was screaming at her husband or shouting at her husband as it were. But on second thought, I am just thinking out loud. Would it have been good if they protest because they saw you? Because we also live in a world where we validate people being fake. The woman is living with her husband. She's not living with you. She should pretend because she saw you. I don't know the reason why she started or something. I don't want to delve into all of it. But come on. What I believe what you should focus on should be your wife or your wife to be. The truth about life is sometimes we can't change who our parents are. We cannot choose who our parents are. But when we come to the earth, when we come on earth, and we begin to interact with different people, we begin to improve on ourselves. We begin to ask ourselves salient questions as people who want to be better. Every parent, except the parent is not a good one, prays that their children, whether men or female, are better than them. What if the tables were turned and that young lady came to his own house and his mom was screaming or shouting or speaking to her husband because he didn't wash? What if the woman was, what if they had discussed about it earlier and maybe she came back or something and she said, you never watch this, you don't know what transpired. Personally, do not think that it is enough to call off the wedding, except you don't understand the woman you want to marry. That is my candid opinion. I mean, the fact that her mom was talking to, what if that lady inside of her does not like that particular attitude of her mom? But come on, there's absolutely nothing she can do. Do you want to tell me it's enough to call off your wedding to someone who over time you have felt like this is the one for me? And so you come to their house and say the father worship. Are you telling me that when you get married to the lady, you can't help her with the dishes? Dishes are a normal thing. I mean, these are things that people do to support their partners and all of that. Are you telling me that your only trigger was just because she spoke to her husband? It is her husband, it is not her husband. So allow them deal with their own thing. But if you even feel a sort of way, you could also speak to your partner why you want to understand how she feels about that particular reaction. Honest conversation. I'm big on communication. You should be able to communicate with your partner to understand. Her response will now inform the next step. You know, the way she addresses it. From what she's telling you, you would know if she's comfortable with her mom's reaction.
All right, so just a minute. Let's try this call.
Okay, please go ahead.
Yes. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Auntie.
Okay, go ahead, Susan. I can't seem to hear this caller. Please go ahead.
You understand? I mean, let's be realistic. This is not rocket science. Forget that we read it. We read about it, social media and all of that. Let's be realistic. Is this a good enough reason for you to call off a wedding with a woman you have spent maybe, even if it's 2 weeks, and you decided that you were going to marry her? Do you think it's good enough? If the tables were turned and maybe she went to your house And a similar thing happened between your own father and your mother who have been married. I mean, these are people who have been married for years, which is why they have a grown up man who is also willing to take up the responsibility of marriage. They don't need to sit here and package themselves before they talk to each other. Let us, in as much as we want to put out things on social media and all of that, let's be aware of certain things that will make people start taking certain attitudes. They don't want to encourage people faking their reality. You don't know what transpired before the woman reacted in that way. I'm not saying it is proper to shout on her husband or whatever. No. But let me now ask, what if it was the woman who was washing the plate and the man was shouting at her? Would it be approved?
Oh,
This is just my closing remarks. Yes. Thank you.
all right, thank you very much, Susan, for actually mentioning that. So what if it was the other way around? Will it call off the wedding? And Susan had actually talked about that. If it was the other way around, will it still call off the wedding? Well, this is your Women Radio WFM 91.7, Nigeria's radio station for women and their families. Do well to dial 07000 Do well to also dial 09155 917 917. Okay, send us WhatsApp messages to 07031756537 or 0703 08155 917 917. Those are the numbers to get in touch with us this morning. All right, let's quickly look at the story before we call it a day. We just have about 10 minutes to go. Now, this is coming from the PPRO of FCT. That's the Police Public Relations Officer, and she is just laying some concerns about how we have a lot of broken homes out there, and and she's attributing this to people, or rather to men who seem to be rushing to marry a second wife. Now, in her words, she says, I've noticed more broken homes, and the new trend for men seemed to be rushing into marrying a second wife. But what happened to patience, to sitting down and working things out for the sake of the children? Have we lost the will to fight for love, for peace, for family? It breaks my heart to see how quickly endurance and reconciliation are fading away. Families deserve more than a quick escape. But wait, is second wife now the new iPhone that every man wants to upgrade to? So I can just imagine the number of cases that they have received, at her, probably her zone, or where she covers in the FCT. So for her to actually mention this, and the lots of cases that probably she has read on social media or that have been brought to her table, and she's bringing this, and that actually brings to mind a story I read yesterday too, about a man who told his first wife that he was about to marry a second wife. And the woman said, okay, no problem, it's fine. And after some time, she said she wanted to travel for, I think somebody's wedding or for a function. She picked her children and left. And after some days, she called the husband and said, okay, they're in the US as it is, and she has taken her kids along. So good luck to him, that she has had enough of him. So now she's giving him chance to enjoy with his new wife. And then the man sat down and he was saying, but you left the car that we're using, you took it along. The house that was staying, you built it. So which money do you expect me to use to marry, the second wife? And that was when he uncovered a lot of things, that it was the first wife who was actually sponsoring his lifestyle, and he decided to want to marry a second wife. And then she just left and took everything away and left him to start all over again. So this could actually, anyway, that's just another story. But if we look at it well, is it that we're not fighting these days to actually keep the home together, or there's just so many options that we have? Because then there was a lot of, oh, let's be patient, let's work things out. We see a lot of it, or rather we hear a lot of those kind of stories. It's not like they were not breaking up those days, or they were, but we get to hear more of the positive sides of marriage than what we're hearing now. So Ibinabo, quickly, just in few minutes, let's have your thoughts on this, and then Susan gets to wrap up the conversation for us before we call it a day on the program today.
Okay. You see, I was looking at statistics in a 2023 statistics findings from of course, the internet, and I realized that in 2023, Nigeria, the divorce rate was 2.9%, which means 1.8 divorces in 1,000, which means in every 10,000 marriages, there are 18 divorces, which is quite high because they put together 26 countries where they had the highest divorce rates, and Nigeria came 11th. So when you look at all of this, firstly, what came to my mind was that because you talked about yesterday when divorce cases were not as rampant as we have it today.
Yeah.
I want to say that the days of reticence are over. Women are beginning to speak up about their various experiences in their various homes, and there had been days when a woman would tell you, if not because of my children, I would have left this man because of A, B, C, and D. And she's been battered emotionally. And there are cases where a man will tell you, I love this woman, no, but I want to marry another woman, but I don't think she would allow me. And when you ask him why, I will tell you, because she can only give birth to 2 children. Yeah, I want about 10. So you see, the conversation is changing. The narratives are changing. Now people are rediscovering themselves. Now people are beginning to speak up. Now people are telling themselves, what my mother endured, I don't want to
I don't
endure
want
it.
to enjoy it.
There is one life to live. And if you mess up that life, you can't have another life. So there's so many reasons out there. The economy and its poor management is not helping matter. When you talk about the economy, you're talking about I'm looking at the socio-economic activities, of today. The socio-economic dynamics. Things are happening. We live in a world where there is so much to hear when you talk about relationship, so much to see and probably so much to glean from. And there are greater external influences such as social media. When you talk about social media, I'm talking about information and some familiar stories. You go to social media, you're reading somebody's story, and it's like the person is telling your story. And the person is taking an action. That probably would influence you if you're not careful. So also, we are looking at social media that is filled with fake marriage counselors. Some people will come to you, when a man is doing this, when a woman is doing that. So all of these things, if you don't get a good grip of yourself, you're going to hold on to some information, hook, line, and sinker, and take a decision that you might regret tomorrow. But having said all of that,
Okay.
when you divorce, I'm looking at the men especially. Because you see, when we talk about economic aspect of it, we're talking about wealth distribution, we're talking about financial capabilities, we're talking about wealth management. All these definitely affect human beings in the field of play. All these dynamics, in what we're talking about, will definitely have consequences. In some cases, they'll tell you when you don't know a man until he has money, and that plays out a lot in many homes. If you are married to a man who doesn't really have much, or you believe that he has prospects, and you're not raising yourself, so at the end of the day, fortune will smile on you and everything. And this man makes money and starts looking for how to accumulate more wives.
All right.
You begin to feel bad that look at the man that I thought that okay, when you start having money, then I can start living my good life. I've been supporting now that you have money, the next thing is to marry another woman. So there's so many reasons why a woman would want to leave and a man would want to leave. Some men, they don't want to leave, but because they listen to their friends, because they listen to some advice on social media. Somebody, nothing is said about commonly social media. Men are suffering, and men are the one paying the bills. Men are this, and nobody is talking about the woman's contribution again. So don't allow yourself to be influenced by whatever you read on the social media or what your friends are saying. Your case is peculiar. Handle it the way you should handle it, not by listening to others whose cases are quite different than yours. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Ibinabo. Susan, let's quickly hear from you in just a minute or less than. Our time is fast spent already.
Okay, so for me, I would say stick to your values. Why do you get into a relationship in the first instance? Is it transactionary? Is it a partnership? Is it for progress? Is it for companionship? Don't just get into a relationship because that is where some of these things fade out. And before you know, you're hearing of divorce, you're hearing of more marriages and all of that. You don't heal a wound by acquiring a new wound. Stick to what brought you to that stage. Thank you.
All right, thank you too, Suzanne, for your thoughts on this morning. And this is where we'll call it a wrap on the program, HerLens. All right, do well to join us again tomorrow, God's willing, at 9:05 a.m. My name is Rose Yusuf Kaisa. Thank you so much to the ladies for being a part of our program today. Do well to enjoy the day, and let's meet up tomorrow at 9:05 a.m. Have a great day, ladies.
Thank you for having us.
Okay. All right, and for you too, do you want to have a blessed day ahead, but do you want to stay with us right here on your Women Radio WFM 91.7. Coming up at 10 is Radio Doctor. Good morning.
To sponsor this program, call the number 0816 480 7613.
Something big has landed and it's raining Naira. Better play, better chance. 200K is yours if only you try your luck. Better play, better chance. 3 times daily, your dreams can come true.
Oh, yes.